GM, everyone. Um, yep, I can see people are already joining in. We are going to give it a minute before we get started. I think like people are pouring in. I see GM's already dropping in the chat. Feel free to go wild on that. Yeah, and I think once we are comfortable with the people who are pouring in, we can definitely get started. Right. So, meanwhile, I'll just screen share and we can get started. Right. Just a quick confirmation if my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Thanks for confirming. Okay, thanks, folks. Um, Cool. Yeah. So hey everyone, this is Aniket. Quick introduction. I'm Aniket from the Deffolio team, and we are excited to bring you the ETHDenver Bidlathon for ETHDenver 2025. This is the second Bidler hours that we are doing. The previous one was last week. The YouTube link should already be over the Discord or on your email in case you missed the first one. So just doing a very quick rundown. In the first session, we talked about how to get started with ETHDenver, that is applying on the ETHDenver website, and then how you go on Deffolio and then complete your application over there. But in this Bidler hours, will be diving deep into the nitty gritties of what's there in store for ETHDenver. What are the kind of things we are looking forward to? What are the things that are in store for all our bidlers over here? So, yep, I think we can definitely get started. Yeah, so first things first, ETHDenver is a global community of bidlers. And here, Deffolio is going to be the official platform for the Bidlathon. We have had a great time supporting ETHDenver. We have done it in the past. We have done it in 2020, 2021, and 2024. And this time we are back again for ETHDenver 2025. That was just a very quick intro. And yeah, ETHDenver 2025 Bidlathon is as exciting as it sounds. We have a lot of things in stores. We have over 25,000 innovators coming in from 125 plus countries. There's going to be $1 million in sponsor bounties and prizes, and $10 million in grants and investments. And there are alumni projects that have come out of ETHDenver and have so far raised $300 million so far. And mentioning a few of them: One Inch, POAP, Huma Finance, and Heartbeat. Um, and expectations. We just wanted to quickly set expectations for what you can do pre ETHDenver. So the first thing is you can start early. Like ETHDenver begins before you arrive, and just to clarify, that doesn't mean you can start committing your code. Of course, like all the progress you make during the Bidlathon is the one that will be considered. What we meant here is just prepping yourself with, let's say, if you're a beginner, there are beginner resources that you can get started with in the Bidler's Guide. Again, that will be in your inbox very, very shortly. And you can essentially check out the list of sponsors on the ETHDenver website. Who are the sponsors who are giving out bounties? And the bounty reveal itself is going to be on February 21st at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. That is where the exact details of all the bounties that are up for grabs will be revealed. And test sponsor tools in advance. Don't wait till ETHDenver to learn new stacks. That is something you can check out all the sponsors that are going to be there at ETHDenver. And if there's anyone who is offering tech that is interesting to you, do not hesitate in already getting yourself familiar with it. Even though you're going to have 7 days, but the time just flies when you're building something interesting. So might as well just prep yourself as much beforehand. And then of course you can engage with online team formation activities. We'll be sharing more details about this in the slides ahead. Getting started at ETHDenver 2025. So first thing is you're going to be working within the constraints. That is, you have 7 days for bidding starting from February 23rd, and the deadline being on March 1st at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So you can, given again that you have you have roughly a month before the ETHDenver Bidlathon begins. Till then, you can plan out how do you want to chart out the 7 days. You can definitely take the first 2 days in ideating. There are going to be mentors there. There are going to be fellow biddlers. If you're looking for a team, there's going to be in-person opportunity for icebreaker sessions, so you can work around things in that way. Focus on purpose. Keep asking why you are bidding. Like usually people ask, like, hey, what would be a good idea to biddle at like bidlathons like ETHDenver. I think like the first thing is you got to be a user yourself. Only when you are actively using Web3 is when you will be able to solve for it. So first thing is definitely, if you are yet to get started, no worries, you're definitely not late. Get yourself familiarized with the world of Web3, and then again keep asking why are you bidding. Resonate with your audience. So here, clarity is something we put more weight on than complexity, because here we are bringing Web3 in the hands of the people out there. And I think for that, the best way is to kind of build things for the public, so that they understand it's not always like the complexity in the idea itself, but it is something where onboarding biddlers onto Web3 is like one of the things you can keep in mind. And one more advantage you definitely get is like you will be surrounded by a sea of biddlers who share the same mind space, giving you like as much learnings, as much clarity, as much like mentorship in those 7 days. And then most importantly, you build or build relationships as well. Your network is your biggest win. So the bidlathon is not just about scrambling codes for 7 days. It's also a chance to network with fellow biddlers. As I said, there are going to be a lot of people who are sharing the same mind space mindset with you, who are also out there to make it big in Web3. And not just, it's not only about making big in Web3, it's also furthering the cause that brings us all together. All right, and the most exciting thing is team formation. So we have certain things lined up for team formation. So there's going to be virtual team formation sessions before the bidlathon, giving you enough heads up, so you can come prepared with a team. And even if, like, let's say you did not find a team or you weren't able to do it, that's completely fine. We are going to have a bunch of icebreaker and team formation labs in person, which we are going to be talking about in the schedule as well. So one thing here is there's a form that is live right now, which we'll be sharing the link to in the chat, as well as in the subsequent email you'll get after this session. So the first form link is for you to be listed, so that you want to be listed as an available biddler, that hey, I am looking for a team, or I have an idea, I'm looking for people who can help build the idea. And then once you fill out the form, you will be listed in the roster list that we have, which is the second link. We'll also just quickly check out how they look. So as you can see, there are a couple of details that you can fill out so that you are being listed as an available biddler for ETHDenver 2025. And then once you are listed, this is just a dummy application over here. Not an application, but a mere like representation of like a list of people who are already like interested in forming teams. So once this form is populated, there are more people who are looking to team up. So as an individual, you can just go and check out the list of people who are um, interested in teaming up. And then at the end, we have asked them to submit their Discord handle as well, given that the Spoked Out Discord is the virtual venue for the bidlathon. So you can connect to reach out to the best fit over Discord. So yeah, that's a quick heads up on how team formation would work. You will be getting more details on the virtual activity that we are going to do to help accelerate team formation, which we are going to discuss in the schedule later. And then, given that the Bidlathon is also in person, in case you are not able to find, that's completely fine. Before submitting a project is like essentially your target to find a team, and there are going to be like a couple of team formation activities that we'll do regularly to help you find the right match. Yeah, and the most important thing, especially for beginners, is overcoming imposter syndrome. I think, like, just speaking from personal experience as well, back in I think when I was studying in like in my college days, it used to be very uh, daunting to go to a big event and try to fit in over there. But I think, like, once I made that step, and of course, like, participating and helping host a lot of these bidlathons, I have come to realize that, hey, like, there are like-minded people who are here to learn as well, and everyone has something to contribute. And then I think the most important thing also here is you don't need to be a coder to Biddle. Like, yes, the devs are there to help execute, but there are many other contributions you can make as a biz dev person: compliance, social media, how to hype up a project, and there are other ways. Like, even a very strong product mindset can also help you be a terrific bidler at the bidlathon. And as the third point mentions, collaboration is key. So whenever you're putting your team together, it's good to have people with diverse skill sets. Who can participate? Again, I think this is something we covered last time, but just wanted to quickly bring it up again. You could either be a developer, designer, marketer, PM, writer, strategist, lawyer, investor. Everyone is welcome. As mentioned, that diverse skill set helps put a terrific team for a bidlathon. There are people who are building the vision, there are people who can execute the vision, there are people who can pitch the vision. So that way you are forming a really solid team, and then if you're committed to a decentralized future, you are in. And that being said, diversity and inclusion at ETHDenver is also a topmost priority for us. ETHDenver supports diverse participation in Web3, and we encourage women, non-binary, and underrepresented communities to join in. And as we already covered, we are open to non-technical participants, given that there's more than code that you can contribute to help build Web3. And of course, for beginners, there are going to be accessible learning resources available as part of the Bidler's Guide. There's Camp Biddle. There's a lot of things lined up because we are also here to help you get started with Web3. Sponsors and mentors, they also play an important role at the Bidlathon. Sponsors provide bounties, job, and mentorship, and mentors help give feedback, and unlock new insights. It's really these in-person conversations that get things going. Maybe you're just you met a fellow mentor or a fellow Bidler at the bodega. You're just sipping on coffee, and then there's a new idea that sparks or new feedback that comes in. It always doesn't have to be like very work oriented where you're seriously working on something, and that is when ideas come in. Even when you're chilling in such a arena where you have similar folks out there, it's very easy to create new ideas on the fly, whether you are on or off your laptop. And yeah, of course, like, they are here to also make connections that can help accelerate your project. And how to win ETHDenver? Yes, while winning is important, there's also a big PSA I'd like to give. Is it's not just going to be about the bounties, but as we mentioned, like, the connects you make, the community you get involved in, that is also a broader win. But at the end of the day, there are prizes that are up for grabs. So quickly, just talking about them, there's $1 million in sponsor bounties and $80,000 plus in track prizes. You can pick up to 10 sponsor bounties to build on. There's going to be a bunch of bounties out there up for grabs. Once they are revealed on Feb 21st, you can pick up to 10 sponsor bounties to kind of work it into your project. And as it mentions, you stack for better chances. And then, rather than just putting in the most rewarding bounties into one project, we'd rather have you focus on clarity, feasibility, and impact of the project. So usually it's just a very quick tip that usually in stacking bounties, the overall agenda, the overall vision of the project kind of gets lost. So you can still win a lot of bounties while keeping your focus on the feasibility and impact of a project. So we just wanted to give you a quick heads up on that. And then of course there's going to be mentors, workshops, and community feedback out there. It's a week long Bidlathon, giving you a lot of time to be able to work all these things into your project. So yep, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for the same. Bidlathon tracks, we are revealing the tracks. We have 5 tracks that you can work on. You can work on any one of these tracks. Again, repeating, you can work only on either one of these tracks. So the 5 options, 5 tracks that are there are DeFi, NFTs, gaming, infrastructure and scalability, identity, privacy and security, impact and public goods, DAOs and communities. So even if like there might be a question that, hey, like, my project kind of fits into multiple tracks, we would still recommend you select only one track where it fits the most. That is how the judging is also going to happen, which we are going to be talking about shortly. And yeah, speaking about judging, there's going to be like a couple of judging phases. So the first thing is the sponsor bounty itself. So if you're primarily targeting for the sponsor bounties itself, on March 1st, it's going to start at 10:30 a.m. And it will be done by 4 p.m. And as for track judging for the 5 tracks that we just checked out, it's going to be in 2 phases. So the first phase is going to happen from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Where all the projects get a chance to pitch their project to the judges, and then a shortlisted bunch of projects will make it to phase 2, who will have their judging done from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, just a heads up, folks, all of these times are in mountain time. And then community quadratic spoke voting will be done on March 2nd. And then as a result of phase 2, where there will be 3 teams per track, so that gives us top 15 teams in total since there are 5 tracks. Finalist pitches will be done on main stage, which will be on March 2nd, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. And yeah, just a quick rundown of how do you structure a winning demo pitch. So first thing is you grab attention early, start with a compelling problem statement. You will have limited time to pitch your project. So usually your first, I would say, 10 to 20 seconds is where you grab the attention of the judge. You also need to know that judges will be going through a lot of projects, so you need to make yours stand out. So you can start with a compelling problem statement. Keeping it simple is key. It's not only that you need to add like a lot of technical jargon to make your project sound fancy. As long as it's solving a key problem, it is, even if it is like solving a niche, I think like keeping it simple is something that helps, uh, imprint it in the judges that, oh, like, this particular project is solving something simple, and then it helps bring Web3 in the hands of a lot of people, right? So explain your project like you would to a non-technical audience, and then showcase impact. Focus on what makes your project unique and useful. This will, I think like, right on the top of my head, a most basic example I would say is, which you should avoid, is yet another NFT marketplace project. There's a lot of people already doing that. So if you end up making one, maybe it may not be as impactful unless there's a very unique twist that you have brought into it, maybe a gamification layer or something very interesting that stands out. But usually like the impact factor over here, what makes it non-generic, is really important, which you need to identify about your project. And live demo over slides, definitely, like, within slides you can put in a lot of things, but when it actually comes to working, that is where the feasibility of your project is seen. Judges would prefer to see your tech in action, and UX also kind of kicks in over here. If the judge themselves is able to use your projects, navigate through it, that is the best thing that they can do, rather than having to go through your slides or your demo video. If there is just like a deployed link where they can go and then just figure their way out through the project, that is the best thing that impresses a judge, right? Them not having to do a lot of back and forth and reading what you have submitted and then actually using your project. Or you can also do a backflip. I think like that's not a backflip in the picture, but whatever gets the attention of the judges for you. Quickly talking about the important dates, February 12th and February 19th. At the same time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, we are going to be doing online team formation activities. You'll be receiving further communications about these soon. On February 21st, we'll do the sponsor bounty reveal. And on February 23rd at 9 a.m., check-ins to the Bidlathon will start. And at 12 p.m. on the same day, the opening ceremony and bounty presentations will happen. From Feb 23rd to March 1st, from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. will be the Biddle Hub venue access, and the mentors will be available for those hours. So this is essentially where you can come in and work out of the venue. As mentioned, like ETHDenver is a in-person Bidlathon. We are bringing in together a lot of people from a lot of different countries. There's a lot of chances for you to meet new people, or like they could either be a new Bidler or a veteran Bidler, anyone. You can kind of like just spark a conversation and get something interesting out of. And as an exception, on Feb 28th, the venue will have overnight access, given that this is going to be the last overnight for the Bidlathon, giving you the space to accelerate and give your final sprint for the Bidlathon. And then before that, Feb 24th is also the application deadline. So I think applying to the Bidlathon is pretty straightforward. Happy to bump the link to the first Bidler hours as well, where we covered how exactly you need to apply to ETHDenver. We'll also there's one slide about it at the end, which just quickly summarizes it. We can go through it uh, as well. On March 1st at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, it's going to be the project submission deadline. There are going to be no extensions. So we'd like you to plan things accordingly, not to keep all of your, like creating the project on Deffolio. Do not want to keep it for the last minute. You can submit your project way before, maybe like 2 or 3 days before, even if it is like, even if it is not polished in terms of both your code and the content you have written, it's completely fine, because you can edit your project till the deadline, even if you have submitted your project. So just wanted to give a big heads up there. Do not keep it for the last minute. Essentially, you can submit your project comfortably 2 to 3 days prior to the deadline, and then of course you can keep editing it towards the project submission deadline. Yeah, and other important dates are the team formation and icebreakers. So starting on February 23rd to 25th, it will be done at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, and then on February 26th to 27th, from 6 p.m. Mountain Time is when we are going to be doing the team formation and icebreaker sessions. So this gives that 5 days. You have 5 days of IRL team formation, as well as two online team formation activities that we're going to be doing prior to the Bidlathon. And then the form obviously is working async. You can anytime, go through all the Bidlers who are interested in forming a team. You can also fill out the form to be listed as an available Bidler. So we're doing a lot of things to accelerate, to help find you teams for the Bidlathon. And then we discussed this, but summing it up real quick, sponsor judging will be from March 1st from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Track judging phase 1 will be from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the phase 2 will be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Uh, yeah, and the finalist pitch, which are the teams that are going to be shortlisted after phase 2, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time on March 2nd is when you're going to be doing your finalist pitch, and the briefing will also start at 9 a.m. on the same day. So ensure that you have whatever travels you have planned. Ensure that you are available for track judging. Let's say like you're only targeting sponsor judging. That's fine. That you don't have to be available for the next couple of hours/days. But if you're really interested in track judging, given that phase 2 judging is also live stream, giving you a big platform to showcase your project, you would want to sort of plan your travels around being available till at least like maybe the end of day of March 2nd. So please plan your travels accordingly if you're here to win big at ETHDenver. Quickly summarizing the Biddle Hub features as well. There's going to be a Biddler bodega as well. Fresh food and snacks will be served whenever the Biddle Hub venue is accessible from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. From Feb 23rd onwards. There's going to be a coffee tea cart, barista service. We need that caffeine to go in and keep you folks biddling. DJ chill room, live music, and projection art for those off hours when you want to just chill out. and take a quick break. And then we also have a maker space where you get to integrate hardware and blockchain together with other folks from the community. Not everything has to be software. Hardware hacks is something also very interesting, and we do see a lot of those submissions come in. So yep, these are the BUIDler features. What to bring: your laptop charger and ID would be essential, of course. Ethernet adapter and cable. So we are they at your tables you're going to find switches. Essentially, if you just bring your Ethernet adapter and cable, that gives you access to Ethernet directly rather than having to connect to the Wi-Fi. So that is something we would recommend you bring as well. We are going to be providing some, but they're going to be on a limited quantity. So best to arrange as much as possible from your end. Next is comfortable clothing and personal hygiene items. If you plan to stay all day, which is the perfect thing you can do for the Bidlathon, definitely comfortable clothing and personal hygiene items count. And then, of course, your resume for networking opportunities. And yeah, while this Bidlathon is very exciting, there are a lot of avenues that are there to cover. We also would like to remind everyone of the code of conduct, where we expect everyone to be adhering to them strictly, respect the community and mentors who are going to be there, follow event rules and guidelines, and no plagiarism or disruptive behavior. And yeah, if you haven't applied to ETHDenver yet, it's not too late. You can just head over to ETHDenver.com and apply as a bidler first. And once you are done applying as a bidler, you can head to DevFolio. As you can see, the website here is ETHDenver2025.devfolio.co. Once I'm done with this presentation, I'm happy to share the slides right in the chat so that you can refer all these links. And then while applying on both the pages, just ensure that using the same email address while applying. Yeah, that brings us towards the end of the second Bidler hours. We'd like to say never stop biddling, and our support is active. So reach out to us on bidlex at eatdenver.com for any questions you may have. Like I'm pretty sure everyone's pretty excited to get started with Eat Denver, and then as and when you go through things, there might be questions popping up. You can definitely drop them on the Spoke DAO Discord if you haven't joined them yet. Again, I'll drop the link to it shortly, or you can also email to us at bidlex@eatdenver.com. All right. I can see a bunch of questions and ongoing chat conversation. So I'm going to take a quick pause, just scroll through um, the chat, see if there are. I can see Justin and Anshuman helping already. Thank you so much for that. Thanks, Cindy. Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna quickly. If anyone has any particular questions, feel free to drop it in the Q&A box or in the chat for the team to answer. There's a question here. Can you tell me submission and pitching guides, pitching to judges and partner schedule? What I'll do is I'll just make this deck public so that you can access all this information. And given your second question, is the venue open overnight? So Armando, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, the venue will be open overnight only on the last sprint night of the Bidlathon, that is February 28th, where it opens at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and then it will be open overnight. But for the rest of the day, starting from February 23rd to the night of 27th, the open hours for the Biddle Hub venue would be 9 a.m. Mountain Time to 10 p.m. So again, all of this information, both of the questions you have asked, is available in the slides. Let me just share it shortly. So I'm just going to take a quick minute here to make this deck public so that you can refer to it at your own convenience. There you have it. Some if 2% team, if the team is of 2%, does the whole team have to be there on March 2nd? I'm leaving on March 1st night. So if your team gets shortlisted for the finalist pitch on March 2nd, then yes, we would expect all members of the team to be present for the pitch. Why don't you just also drop us an email on biddlex@eatdenver.com with your case, and that is something we can definitely look into. But ideally, we would want all biddlers to be present for any judging that is happening. Reminding that Eat Denver is primarily an in-person biddlathon, so we expect biddlers to be there. There's a question from Dan. Do teams typically keen bidding during the main event? Right. Dan, if I understand your question correctly, if you're talking about the main Eat Denver event that also starts, so yeah, like you can prioritize things accordingly, given that the Biddlathon starts a couple of days before the main Eat Denver event. That time you can prioritize a lot of your biddling. You can definitely check out the schedule for the main event as well and plan things accordingly. I hope that helps answer your question.
Yeah, there's a few other ones. So, like, what is security going to be like? So I mean, we definitely have probably better security than most events in terms of checking bags with some of the same technology they use for the Super Bowl. And as far as concerns around crimes and exploits, I mean, there's literally no way to prevent everything. We sniff for pineapples and other things like that. Definitely doing what we can. We have experienced event IT staff that does this for major esports and conventions as well. So we're doing what we can, but at the end of the day, people also need to be they need to be smart about it, just the same way they would be at an airport or other kind of similar venue. Personal hygiene, yes, for sure. We always have a few things on hand just in case people forget. I saw the question about the types of food available in the bodega. We're definitely not going to be on the level of your favorite restaurants out there, but we are somewhat limited by the venue that we're in. However, through the venue catering, we are making an effort to have some fresh items like salads and wraps available daily, as well as during several times per day, there's going to be a drop of hot food that's being prepared by the venue staff. Um, that I don't think the final selections are totally in, but I know that it's not just like pizza every day. There's gonna be some variety. And then later in the night, we're also going to do a few food delivery drops. So if you're still there building around 8 or 9 before close, and especially on the last day, we'll even do like a midnight pizza drop. That one just has to be pizza for midnight. But yeah, we'll definitely have good variety. And if you don't like what you see one day, there also will be food trucks outside and other options that you can access. We will have a ton of snacks as well. So even if you're not super happy with what's available during that time, there'll be something to keep you going. And of course, they have good delivery options, or I say delivery, but if you're interested in things like Uber Eats and other stuff like that, you'll be able to order things like that. Let's see, capacity. So, yeah, we had about 15,000 people last year in total, and this year it's looking like it's going to be closer to 20. Obviously, market conditions are very preferable compared to where they were a year ago. So definitely very excited to see people coming out. And also, interestingly enough, someone gave me a stat that something like 25% of the side events this year are AI focused. So I think there's really this interesting intersection between AI and crypto that we're going to see a lot of in this year's event, and that kind of drives people who are interested not only in blockchain but also the AI industry and how blockchain can play an important role in that. Let's see. So being accepted to BUIDle. So yeah, the approvals for that are actually going out starting today. So they have been reviewed. And so you should be all good to go. Good to hear that you have your ticket. If someone says they want to biddle and they submit the application and you look like a real person, you're going to be accepted. You don't need to be too worried about that. And same goes for if you have team members that you want to get involved. I would caution not for them to wait too long to apply to the main event, just because we have had to be on a wait list previously, just depending on how many applications come in. And there's usually not a whole lot of warning around that. It just kind of happens. So any team members that you want to get them in now, get them through their DevFolio side, and we'll make sure that we get them included. Let's see. Oh, so I see, Heather, you mentioned you didn't get your ETHDenver ticket yet. I would just go ahead and submit to the support and just ask about what's going on there. It could be that there's some kind of a glitch. I would definitely double check your spam, and just go ahead and ask support if they can look into that for you specifically. Uh, Definitely the system is working in general across the board, but I have heard about some edge cases where something or other happens, and it might not even be anything that you did. Sometimes the tech, especially brand new tech, there are glitches here and there, but you should be good to go. Yeah, in terms of agenda calendar for the Biddle-a-thon, we so in the BUIDler guide, there's a bunch of details in there. There's also kind of a general summary of the schedule on the website. And the content team I've been in touch with on almost a daily basis, and they're getting very close to finalizing their schedule. I believe the final confirmations of speakers of the final third wave will be going out by the 31st, and then I expect just the following week we should have that full agenda of talks out there. I can tell you that all day, every day, pretty much there's going to be different workshops and content that you can get access to. If you are new to biddling and you want more of a step-by-step process, check out Camp Biddle. They may still have a few slots left, and that's definitely an interesting opportunity to, drill down into a deeper level of education in those first few days. And if you just go to the ETHDenver website and look in the header under Biddle, you can see Camp Biddle there. So the blockchain technologies, I mean, it's basically everything. So if you want to look at the 2024 bounties, maybe Aniket, you could just drop that link to that so they can get an idea of what was submitted last year, what kind of options there were. But ETHDenver believes in interoperability. There are definitely some groups that we intentionally feel are anti-ethos and have not been allowed to participate. But as long as there's, what's considered to be good ethos with the project, um, and they have, the interoperable ethos of Ethereum in mind, you're going to see everything. Um, Chinese food, yes. And vegan options. So yeah, there will be vegan options. I know that there's at least one day that Chinese food was proposed. Unfortunately, it's probably Americanized Chinese food, so you might not be happy with it. But yeah, I will take that request to the team and see if there are any additional things that can be done in that department. I do believe at the food trucks we always have had at least 1 to 2 Asian food trucks, and we've always had at least one vegan food truck. So if nothing else, there will be an option outside available. That's not included in the Biddleathon food that's covered, but it is nearby and is an option. Food and coffee, yeah, food and coffee at the bodega is free for biddlers, 100%. Going through here. Yeah, so definitely make sure, like Aniket said, to fill out that form if you want to get on the list and help with team building. I think that's great. We're going to be doing that on site as well. So, I think it's great to start meeting people. You don't need to necessarily commit to people. I think this early phase right now, when you still have several weeks to go, I think just connect with people, start talking with them. Oh, that's a cool idea. Like, what are you thinking? And you might find like, oh yeah, I definitely want to work with this person. Or you might be like, oh yeah, these people are cool, but I still want to like meet other people on site and make my call the first day or two of the Biddleathon, right? I On that note, I will say that I highly suggest being there day one so that you can get fully integrated into everything going on. Also understand that not everyone has the ability to be there for that length of time, especially if you're coming from out of town, which is most attendees. Um, but yeah, as many days as you're able to be on site as possible is very helpful for you, just for everything from that team building experience to, getting maximum time with mentors. I think mentors are underestimated how much they can help your journey because every time that you get stuck just a little bit on something, there's someone there that can help you get unstuck. It's like an in-person chat GPT, right? All right, let's see. So, yeah, like XR, I mean, I would say, you can apply it to multiple categories, but potentially the gaming related track could be appropriate for that, in my opinion. Um, the interesting thing about AI, it's funny, we were like, hey, should we integrate AI into one of these tracks? As we are getting closer to the event. And it almost happened, but then it was like, man, like AI applies to every one of these tracks. Like, does does this really make sense to say like, hey, all the related AI crypto projects need to go into one track? So I will say that depending on exactly what you're doing, that's it's something that you don't actually need to fully decide on until submitting your project. So if you want to explore that a little bit further on site, I think that's there's time to do that. Um, so if I attend another hackathon during ETHDenver, can I continue the same project for ETHDenver? So I don't know if you mean that in terms of like there are some like hacker house type experiments going on that people are working on projects. What I would say is whatever project that you're working on for like it needs to start at the same time that ETHDenver starts. It can't start prior to the 23rd at 10 a.m. If you were to submit that same project to multiple events, that probably is okay as long as you're within the requirements that ETHDenver has. And I would definitely make sure that you're looking at all the ETHDenver bounties to ensure that you're integrating those into your project because there's a huge amount of cash on the table that you'd be missing out on if you didn't do so. Let's see. Yeah, you can reach out to the support via Discord. There's also, let's double check. I mean, Discord is the primary way that they like to receive those. Just checking for ticketing if they had another specific one. Yeah, I would just go ahead and submit it via the Discord method. That is the primary support, and they're able to handle it. In fact, the people who manage the ticketing are on Discord as well. Oh yeah, the other one that you can use is just hello@ethdenver.com. But I'd say Discord is preferable, so you can go
Yeah,
back and opening the ticket. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. There's a question from Aaron, and again, asking about beginner and intermediate. They're going to be people that have never touched Web3. So the fact that you've touched Web3, you could put intermediate. Again, we've got people that have been in and out of Web3 over the last 10 years. So, and it also it doesn't really matter. It's more about what resources we're going to reach out to you with.
Yeah, I think I also just clarified it in the chat that that is more for us to understand the demographic of the builders that are coming in, and figure out resources as David mentioned. Yeah, thanks, Erin.
Cool. Let's see. Yes, in-person chat GPT. The world is changing quickly. Uh, yeah, you can change your idea of what you've submitted in DevFolio. You can basically do whatever you want until the time of submission. The only thing I would say is your full team needs to have checked in on site at ETHDenver registration prior to that Friday. And we ask that everyone who's able to is on site on Friday building, so that we're able to provide you with that support that you need for not only finalizing your project, but ensuring that you're submitting it correctly and that there's no issues and that you're fully ready for Saturday when judging kicks off at just after 10 a.m., which is that deadline. So Heather's question about Camp Biddle. Yes. So Camp Biddle is a separate activity. Think of it like you have to apply to ETHDenver to participate in all these other things, right? And then we just don't know who wants to participate in each one of these other things. So you submit to those additional ways that you want to participate. So just think about it in that way. I will note that in the case of Camp Biddle, to fully quote graduate from Camp Biddle, you do need to submit a project in the main ETHDenver Biddleathon. So trying to apply for Camp Biddle, but having a hard time navigating on Discord. So if you go to ethdenver.com and just go to Biddle, in fact, I'll just drop the link in here. You can click the apply and join Camp Biddle button on that page, and that'll get you going. There is parking available at the venue. I believe they charge about $15 a day. It's by the venue. That is the one downside. But there is also, you know, absolutely suggest carpooling wherever possible. There's also rideshare available with Uber and Lyft in Denver. There's the question about solo hackathons. So, at ETHDenver, we believe that hacking is a team sport, biddling is a team sport. It is a big opportunity for you to connect with other people. And for that reason, we have made the call to not officially allow solo hacking if there is some very specific reason that you have no way of doing it other than solo, you can go ahead and reach out to us, but we haven't heard a compelling reason yet. So we for that reason as well, understanding that finding a team can sometimes be challenging. We're actually making a bigger effort than ever before, with the pre-event icebreakers. And yeah, so Armando, totally get it. I've seen many people who've been on teams that haven't worked out. I think the thing that's important is, and this is actually why we're doing a daily team icebreaker session, is you might just find that the team that you joined, it's just not really working out. So I think it's pretty critical to a team have a team in mind, get some people together relatively early, but kind of like interviewing a team that you want to work with you. You really do need to. Well, so look right there. We've got Chinese man and Armando who are sick of carrying people. I mean, I think that's the perfect team right there. You got the dream team. You two should connect. Um, So anyway, yeah, no, what I would say is figure out if you feel like it's working. If there's a situation where it's just not working, we have a daily team icebreaker session, and our team is dedicated to helping you try to figure out what a good team, um, get that team formed and help you like reform it if it's not working. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, so the fact of the matter is a lot of times people end up on teams that are just kind of arbitrary. You're like, "Oh, hey, here's a couple people. Like, let's put this team together. All right, I guess this is our team. Let's go." And I think that's the problem. It needs to be taken a little more serious. And at the very beginning, we suggest getting organized, identify who's going to do what. People who want to be on your team, you should vet them a little more. Ask them like, hey, let me see your GitHub, or like show me other projects that you've worked on. Um, don't just make a team based on feeling. Um, Make them prove it to you that they're going to be a good team member. Yeah, James, unfortunately there's not on-site free parking at National Western. So the one last thing I'll say is like if it doesn't work out for you being on a team, we're there could be extenuating circumstances, and we're open to hearing that, but um it definitely should not be where you start. Cool. Well, we're almost at the top of the hour here. Are there any additional questions that you guys have right now? And obviously, we're going to be around. You can find the team in Discord, BUIDler at ETHDenver.com. And boba and Chinese food. I mean, I'm a big fan of both myself as well. So I'll see what I can do. I don't know if boba is going to happen in particular, but we definitely have tea and coffee. So with baristas making custom drinks. So BYOB, BYO boba. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Right. Thanks, everyone. If you still have any questions, you can join the Spoke DAO Discord. I'm just going to put the link here again. And And yeah, we also have our email channels open. It's biddlex at ETHDenver.com. So if you still have any pending questions, feel free to reach out to us over there. And you will be you can expect an email from us shortly regarding like the important links from this session, and a follow-up on the application as well that you have submitted on DevFolio very, very soon. So yep, we will see you at ETHDenver. Cheers, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks all. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.